Alright, I'm here to continue on the calculation on econometrics, and today I'll be giving you on how to use what we call Slrm to solve a given econometric question. For instance, you must understand that while solving econometric, there are applications, there are formula we use. Now, the formula is commonly called blue. We call it blue. And in this blue, B stands for best, L is for linear, U is for unbiased, and E is the estimator. So this blue is what we are going to use in solving this question. And under this question, we are using the what we call SLRM. It means simple linear regression model. So that is what we have. Now in this question now, we are to derive a normal equation from this equation. We are given a question here saying y equals alpha plus beta s plus u. Now this model given to us, we have to derive a normal equation from it. All right, are we ready to go? So before we do that, do well to subscribe, like, and share the button. Don't just watch, like, share, and subscribe. All right, let's go with this formula before us. Now I want you to come to a point where you are. Don't be confused, feel relaxed. It's very simple. It's something you can get if you follow up. Once I'm through with the video, or once you are through with listening, you can go back over and again gradually and try to learn it. All right, let us start. So we are given this question. So this is the first thing to do. Write out the question. Y equals alpha plus beta s plus u, equation 1. And then the next thing you will come to write is that state that y, come to write the, I want to take it gradually. Now you will write the estimator function in order to get the formula. So let me take gradually. So write the estimation function. So the estimation function is y cap equals to alpha cap plus beta s cap. So this is the estimated function we are using to solve this. And then the next step you go, we are taking it gradually, is that you say y is equals to y cap minus e. And then you say make e the sort of formula by bringing e here. E equals to y minus what? Y cap. Are you following? Now the next step you are going to take from this step is to now look at this and say this is your equation 2. Then you now say from equation 2, what do we have? We have y cap equals alpha cap plus beta cap s. And since we already say from here that, let me show you, this one is equation 3. This is equation 3. So we want to put equation 2 into equation 3. So from equation 2, this is our equation 2. Then this is your equation 2 now. We are putting it into equation 3. Equation 3 already told us that from here, it was equation 3 we convert into this particular point. So you now put it here, saying E equals y minus y cap. What's our y cap? Y cap is equals to what? So just put it as minus bracket alpha cap plus beta cap s bracket close. So this is the next step you take gradually. So the next thing is to do is to expand the bracket. Now let's expand the bracket. We have E equals Y minus alpha cap minus times plus will give you minus. That's why we have minus here. Beta S cap. So this is the next thing we have here now. All right, by the time you have something like this, you must learn to take it one after the other. The next step you have to go now is to try to sum the both side and square it. Sum the both side and square it. All right, let's go ahead and do it. So sum and square both sides. Right, so we now have summation of E. This E now, we are adding some to it. So this means summation. Then this is my square equals to summation of this one as well. So I'm putting it inside the bracket, which is Y minus alpha cap minus beta S over what? Square. So this is my square, this is my square, this is my summation, this is my summation. So this is the next step. So by the time you arrive at this step, this becomes your equation 4. This becomes your equation 4. Now let's go further. The next thing to do from here is to try to break this down. And how do you break it down? You will only come to this point and say, okay, let us minimize. You are trying to minimize the summation of E squared, and therefore by the time you look for the minimum, by the time you minimize it, you therefore look for the derivative of this in respect to alpha cap and beta cap. So now let me break it for you. Remember why we are trying to do minimum. How do you minimize? For instance, now you have summation E squared. If you want to minimize this, it becomes 2, these two come here, 2 summation E. That's what you do, 2 summation E. And then by the time you look for the derivative of this in respect to alpha and beta, for instance now, look for the derivative of this equation in respect to alpha. Now, the alpha we have here is 1. That means if you look for the derivative of this, what we are going to get is what? Minus 1. Right? If you look for the derivative of this question in aspect to beta, that means if beta is taken away, what do we have? We have minus x. So we are going to have what? Minus x. So we are going to be using this to solve our next question. Right, let's come over here. Right, so the next thing we have now is if we minimize this, we have E, summation E squared over change in what? Alpha cap, because it was alpha cap we are dealing with. Then equals to the minimum, which is 2 summation. The next thing we have in bracket here, Y minus alpha cap minus beta cap x into then brackets in respect to alpha. How many alpha do we have here? 1. If we take it away, what do we have? We have invisible 1, which is minus 1. That's why we have minus 1 equals 0. Alright, then the next thing you do is that since this is what we are looking for, you go ahead and bring it up, saying 2 summation into bracket y minus alpha cap minus beta x cap into what? This minus 1 equals to 0. This is now what we are working with now. Now, then we are going to use this minus 1 to times this external figure. So we should now give us this as minus 2 summation of bracket y minus alpha cap minus beta s bracket close into what? 1. So the moment you add this equals to what? 0. The next thing you do is to divide both sides by minus 2. So let me write for you. Divide both sides by minus 2. So let me write out the equation for you again. We have minus 2 into y minus alpha cap minus beta x bracket close, everything over what? Minus 2. Okay, then the next thing you do again is equals to 0 over 2. Now this minus 2 will cancel this minus 2. This one automatically will be equals to 0. So we have summation of y in bracket minus alpha cap minus beta s equals to 0. Now the next thing you do now is to expand your bracket. Let's expand it. By the time we expand it, we have it as x into y, that is summation y minus, this automatically become n, that is simpler, normal simple, we call it normal simple, into alpha minus, then you now bring this into this place, become beta cap, then the summation of what? X, we just try to expand it, equals 0. Then by the time you break it, remember this is our, this we solve here is our equation, it's our equation 5. It's our equation 5. So let's continue with this thing. So by the time you get here, the only thing you just do is to make summation y the subject of the formula, which is summation y becomes equals to n alpha bar minus beta cap estimation x. These are what? Equation 6. Okay. Alright, so from this equation 6 here now, we are, remember, we are trying to derive a simple equation. So from this equation 6 now, let's continue. We are not going to say similar to equation 5. Remember, we are to look at this place. We actually do a derivative with respect to alpha and beta. So we've done it in respect to alpha. Now the next one we want to do now is for beta. That's why, look at it here. That's why we have alpha here. So we are going to do another one again as beta, just as we have this equation. So that's why I said similarly to equation 5, what we did at equation 5. All right, so we now have here change in summation e squared over change in what? Beta equals 2, you understand the way we do all this one, 2 summation brackets y minus alpha cap minus beta cap x, beta x. Now equals to what? Equals to 0. Now I'm trying to do what I did at that equation 5 exactly here. Now if I try to, now I've minimized this, that's why I get 2e, I've minimized it. Now if I want to do the derivative of beta, because this is beta now here, so what I'm going to do here is to say change in summation e squared or I change in beta, it now give me 2 summation bracket y minus alpha cap minus beta s. I have my cap. Now, if I do the derivative of this beta, what will I be left with? I'll be left with, let me assume derivative means there's a way we solve it, but the short way to get it, that if I remove beta, what will you have? You will have what? Minus, and we have what? X. So which is what? Equals to 0. So let's continue. Alright, so the next thing we have now is now equals to 2 summation bracket y minus alpha cap minus beta cap x bracket what? Minus x equals 0. Now, you will now use this to times this. The sign you affect this, which now is equals to 2 summation. Remember, minus, it's now minus 2. Minus 2. Because of this minus here, now minus 2 summation bracket of y minus alpha cap minus beta x. We have the cap here. This one now be what? X automatically, because we've taken the minus here and then the minus is now here. Now equals to 0. The next thing to do is to times this x with this. So if we times this x with this, we have equals to minus 2 summation. You are timesing it with the one inside the bracket. We have y x times this with this. I'm having minus alpha cap x minus beta x what? X squared. Automatically, beta x what? X squared. Bracket close. So equals to 0. The next thing I do is to divide through. I'm dividing through by minus 2. So let me just go further and say this one is what? Minus 2. This one is what? Minus 2. So this minus 2 cancels this minus 2. This one automatically equals to 0. So the next thing I have here is I have capital E into brackets y x minus alpha cap x minus beta x squared equals 0. Now, the bracket is still there. The next thing I do is to expand the bracket in this. So when I expand the bracket with this is what I'm having. I'm having summation x, y, x minus alpha. You have to write alpha cap first. Then put your summation x minus, write your beta cap first. Beta cap first, and then your summation x squared. Alright, so from the continuation of this equation here now, the next thing we just say is to write, we are now making summation of y and x, solution formula. Just say summation of y x, because we are making solution formula, become equals to alpha cap summation of x plus beta cap summation of x squared equals to 0. This is equation 7. So we've finally solved the question. So the question told us to derive a simple equation, which the equation is now this equation C. So for me now to now solve it, so the answer is this. Summation y equals n alpha cap minus beta cap summation s equals 0. This is equation 1. Then summation yx equals alpha cap summation x plus beta cap summation x squared equals 0, equation 2. So this is what the question wants us. This question wants us to develop two equations. So these are the two equations. So from here again, we can continue solving, and the way we solve this is to use what we call Cramer's rule. So we use Cramer's rule to start solving this one. But for the question, this is where it's stopped. This is the final answer. This equation 7. So that is it. Please do well to like, share, and subscribe so you can get more of our videos, so you can learn how to solve econometry in an easier and simpler form. Thank you.